The city lights blur into a symphony of yellow cabs and hurried footsteps as another night descends upon New York. Amidst the controlled chaos of Grand Central Terminal, a lone trumpet player, Nick, finds solace in his music, the notes echoing through the vast hall. He's lost in the rhythm, hoping to piece together something, maybe something for the audition he has tomorrow. Meanwhile, a woman, visibly distraught, races through the crowd, her face a mask of panic. It's Brooke. She's missed her train, and worse, her purse, containing everything she needs, is gone. She frantically checks her phone, only to find it dead. A phone call to a friend confirms her worst fears about her original destination, Boston. She has to get there tonight, and she has to be home before her husband. Lost and alone, the massive terminal feels isolating. As she stands on the deserted platform, defeated, a figure approaches. It's Nick, holding her broken phone. Explains he found it while busking. She's grateful, but it doesn't solve her immediate problem. She needs to get back, but the station is closing. All trains are done for the night. A quick, unhelpful interaction with a cleaning man confirms her predicament. No more trains until morning. She mentions needing a cab, but her purse, and with it, her credit cards and ID, are gone. Nick, seeing her desperation, offers a suggestion. Maybe her purse was just dumped nearby after the cash was taken. He thinks he might know a place downtown that deals in stolen goods, a long shot, but worth a try. He offers to split a cab, revealing his own electronic troubles, a dead phone, and declining credit cards. An argument with a passing taxi driver about the fare to New Haven, let alone Boston, highlights the impossibility of her situation. Nick calls a friend, hoping to borrow money, but the conversation is brief and leaves him looking dejected. His friend, it turns out, isn't coming and made a comment about Brooke being under the soft lights of the bar. Brooke wraps up her performance to warm applause, and Nick watches her, a gentle smile playing on his lips. But the moment is fleeting. A man in a suit catches Nick's eye, and a flicker of something urgent passes between them. Suddenly, they're in motion, a hurried exit from the celebration. They find themselves in the sterile hallway of a hotel, room 11. Inside, the reality of their situation hits. Brooke's phone is dead, and she desperately needs to get back to Boston. She asks Nick to call someone for money, explaining her predicament. Nick reveals his own need for cash, $450, a matter of life or death, he jokes. He finds a landline and leaves a frantic message, his voice tinged with urgency, promising to call back. Hanging up, a mischievous glint appears in his eyes. He has an idea. Brooke looks at him, half amused, half apprehensive. Should she be worried? Nick's plan unfolds. He calls the concierge, smoothly posing as a wealthy guest, Mr. Childers, requesting a car to take his guest to Boston and charge it to the room. He assures the skeptical Brooke it will work. They just need to wait 10 minutes. While they wait, Brooke notices the hotel art, sharing a quirky anecdote about artists who doodle on the back of paintings. Her delight, she finds a surprisingly revealing drawing hidden on the back of one. Nick's reaction is pure, genuine amusement. He jokes about the drawing, then about needing to leave because of the hookers that have arrived, referring to the figures in the art. He adds they probably shouldn't touch anything else. The absurdity of the situation draws laughter from Brooke, breaking the tension. Their scheme seems to work. They descend in the elevator, and the front desk confirms a car for Mr. Childers is waiting. Nick, playing his part, identifies himself as Mr. Bradshaw, accompanying Mr. Childers' guest. Just as the staff prepares to ring the room, Brooke quickly steps in, feigning a change of plans. She tells the desk it's not necessary, suggesting a nearby place might still be open for a drink. They make a hasty exit, back onto the bustling New York streets. Outside, the city lights blur around them. Nick notes they're still okay, they still have time. Brooke counters that they have time but no money and no plan. She jokes they need a time machine. Nick points to an old payphone, explaining a unique New York feature. Dialing 1993 on certain payphones could tell you what was happening on that corner 20 years ago. Brooke, playing along, says she just needs to call yesterday. She dials, speaking to her past self, giving cryptic warnings about a forehead scar and staying home. Nick laughs, enjoying the game. Brooke continues, advising her past self to skip a specific concert, hinting at the injury she sustained there. She adds to avoid talking to strangers in Grand Central. Nick chuckles again. Then, with a serious look, Brooke tells her past self to skip meeting Nick altogether, stay home, watch a movie, order takeout, have a bath, and go to bed, promising everything will be fine in the morning. Nick takes the receiver and hangs up, noting that if she had done that, she wouldn't have met him. Brooke admits she hasn't decided if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Brooke spots something else on the payphone, a credit card stuck to the back. Nick takes it, his mind racing for another solution. He tries calling 2004 on the payphone, aiming to tell his past self to bet on the Red Sox winning the World Series. It doesn't work. He tosses the phone back, joking about the faulty time machine and his failed gambling attempt. But a new idea sparks. He sees a bus sign for Chinatown and realizes they can take a cheap overnight bus to Boston. Brooke questions if they have enough money. Nick assures her it's less than the $500 he needed. They arrive at a Chinatown bus station, the waiting area stark and quiet. They sink onto hard chairs, the clock ticking. Brooke observes they did their best but are running out of time. Nick suggests calling her husband, making up a story. Brooke reveals he already knows about her being in New York and what she's doing. She pulls out her small, old-fashioned cell phone, mentioning she's out of coins for the payphone. She calls someone named Pam, clearly distraught. She urgently needs a favor to go to her house, find a key and a letter. Pam tries but fails, explaining the key wasn't there and someone must have taken it. Brooke suggests breaking in. Pam confesses she tried, but the alarm went off and she panicked and ran. Brooke assures her it's okay, she tried her best. She hangs up, tears welling. Nick looks at her, his expression softening. He tells her he hasn't seen Hannah, his ex, in 6 years. He describes their past, a deep connection that felt like fate. He talks about being pre-med, finding his passion in music, and Hannah being the first to truly see and support it. He bought a ring, a huge expense, and went to their apartment, heart pounding, knowing something was different. Reveals Hannah broke up with him, saying it was time for a break, and was completely blindsided. Brooke is empathetic, telling him he's been slammed every day since then, that the odds aren't what he thinks, and this is about regret. She tells him he saw a spark, she saw it. He has a chance. Nick, looking conflicted, asks a profound question. Why does any one decision always seem too small to be the biggest decision of your life? Brooke doesn't know, but sometimes you just have to make the choice and jump. Nick looks at her, then away, deep in thought. Brooke persists. He didn't come to New York for nothing. The audition was a sign. Nick acknowledges the sign, but says the girl, Hannah, was the thing. Brooke insists he can't get away with that. She heard him play, he loved it, remember. Nick confesses it feels like the music doesn't love him back. He shares the painful truth. Hannah is pregnant. He admits he's probably the most okay he's been since she left because he finally has something concrete to hold on to. He thanks Brooke for that. Brooke asks what he wants to do now. They've talked about everything crucial. What's left? Nick says small talk. Brooke smiles, then stops outside a building with a blinking pink sign. Psychic advisor. She looks at it, then at Nick, questioning if they should go in. Nick smiles back, says okay. They go up the steps, and the psychic, an elderly man in a red robe, greets them, joking it's trash day. He realizes they want a reading and invites them in. Inside, he sits in his armchair, asking who wants to go first. Nick points to Brooke. Brooke points back. The psychic starts with Nick, seeing his trumpet, recognizing he's a musician. Nick is impressed. The psychic says it works every time, even on skeptics. Brooke asks about his wife. He says she passed. Brooke offers her condolences. It's all right. He looks at Brooke, smiling gently. He asks what they're going to do with her. She's at a crossroads. She thinks she knows her problem, but she's wrong. She feels trapped, but she has choices. She's just afraid to look at them. Brooke asks what they are. He says she could walk away. From what? He doesn't know, but she does. He says they can always walk away, sometimes they should. He says she could have a future with this boy here, but he doesn't say that to every couple. Brooke clarifies she's married. The psychic stands by what he said about choices. Brooke asks what if the things that matter aren't up to her. The psychic shares the most important thing he learned after a lifetime with one person, to enjoy it. Brooke looks at him, a knowing smile playing on her lips. The unexpected connection forged through the night brings Nick and Brooke to a quiet moment with an older man who shares a poignant memory of meeting the love of his life, a woman who, with effortless grace, pulled him onto the dance floor. His tale is a simple one, yet it speaks volumes about seizing fleeting moments and the beauty of sudden, overwhelming attraction. He reflects that there's no such thing as perfect, only choosing who you want to navigate the struggles of life with. A piece of wisdom that hangs in the air, resonating deeply with the two weary travelers who have spent the night confronting their own imperfections and uncertainties. Walking along the waterfront, under the glow of the city lights, the conversation turns inward. Brooke, still reeling from the events that led her to New York, finally confesses the devastating truth. She discovered her husband's affair through his emails. The mundane act of checking his schedule to plan a surprise anniversary trip turned into a soul-crushing reveal, reading his intimate messages with another woman, signed with a nickname, Linny. She describes the gut-wrenching pain, the paralysis that followed the discovery, the torrent of emotions that made her want to lash out. This isn't just infidelity. It feels like the unraveling of her entire world, her marriage, her one chance at love thrown away by venom and hatred. It's a raw, vulnerable admission, her voice thick with unshed tears, as she recounts the immediate, impulsive act of leaving her rings and a furious letter on the bed, a desperate, heartbroken escape. Nick listens, his own face etched with empathy and a familiar pain. He understands the feeling of having your life plan shatter. He tries to offer comfort, telling her she didn't throw anything away, that her husband will find the letter and beg for forgiveness, that he made a mistake and knows it. But Brooke is trapped in her despair, hating the man she still loves for inflicting such hurt. She questions Nick's optimism, challenging him, asking if he believes it's possible to meet someone perfect for you even when you're committed to someone else. His hesitant, loaded reply, that if you're committed, you don't allow yourself to find perfection elsewhere, hits a nerve. She accuses him of just telling her what she wants to hear, of not having any real answers. The tension escalates outside a late-night diner. Brooke is frantic, trying to hail a taxi, determined to leave New York, to disappear to her mother's, anywhere but here. Nick stops her, grabbing her arm, his voice urgent, frustrated. He won't let her run. He throws her own words back at her, reminding her she just said she loved her husband. Their argument explodes onto the sidewalk, raw, desperate, airing their deepest fears and resentments. Brooke tearfully reminds him of his own rash decision to quit medical school for music, pointing out the irony. He's willing to abandon his biggest audition because the girl he loved didn't choose him. It hurts, she tells him, twisting the knife, asking who needs to face the music now. She sees him as another potential loser, just like her, trapped by a failed romance. But Nick stands firm. He tells her the only thing stopping her from being the biggest loser is that she hasn't left yet. He challenges her to breathe. He insists he doesn't have all the answers, but he's the best advice she has right now. This raw honesty, this refusal to let her self-destruct, seems to break through her defenses. He takes her to a hotel room, a small, quiet space away from the chaos of the night and their emotions. Dressed in matching white robes, they sit by the window. The city lights a blurred backdrop to their exhaustion and tentative peace. Brooke apologizes for her harsh words, her defensiveness. Nick accepts, offering a small, wry smile. They talk about the night, how crazy it was, how maybe they were meant to find each other in that bar. It feels like fate, a strange twist of destiny that brought them together on the worst night of her life. Nick admits he stuck with music not just because of Hannah, but because he dreamt of a moment like this, a chance to prove himself, not to her, but to himself. Brooke confesses she feels like she has to go back, to confront her husband, to see if their love is worth fighting for. She couldn't forgive herself if she didn't try. It's time to stop running. As the morning light begins to break over the city skyline, the reality of their individual lives sets in. On the train heading out of the city, Brooke pulls out the crumpled survey card from the hotel. She rated the appearance and staff as fair and ticked no for likely to return. But then she turns it over. On the back, Nick has written his own review. Help us improve. Expectations. Exceeds expectations. Would you be likely to return? Yes. How would you rate your overall stay? Extraordinary. And then a simple, hopeful message that brings a genuine smile to her face. It's possible that one day you'll be playing Grand Central. And you're gonna meet somebody. She's trouble. Stick with her. You're gonna need her a lot more than she needs you. Give her a kiss. Wish her good luck. Thank her for showing you that you can love more than one person in this life. Brooke looks up, her eyes meeting the empty space where Nick stood just hours before, a bittersweet expression on her face. Maybe he's right. Maybe there's hope after all. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, stay awesome, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more amazing content.